Hello, my friends, and welcome to another pick a card reading. I hope you're all doing really well. It's really good to have you here. So, today we'll be looking at the question, what is your personal Odyssey? Now, what does that mean? That means your personal journey, your personal story. It isn't just about the transitions that you make from one place or one thing or one event to another. This is about how everything kind of plays a part in your life and how it contributes to where you are at the moment. When we think about the word Odyssey, we think about the Odyssey in by Homer, and that was the story about Odysseus going on a big voyage of many, many adventures before returning home. And even then, when he returned home, it wasn't necessarily an easy task or an easy thing. There were still trials and tribulations that had to be overcome before he could actually come back and be at home. So here in this reading, I wanted to use that idea as an inspiration for this question. And we've also got a really nice deck as well called the Odyssey Oracle, which has just been released by Threads of Fate. They should have it available up soon for sale. This is their Kickstarter. And in this reading, I'll be looking at what your current situation is, like in terms of like how your Odyssey is, what the story is happening right now, where you've come from, and then we'll look at where you're going and what are the best tools you need to kind of get there. Or what things and learnings you can take on to help you in the best possible way for the next steps of your journey. So I've got 4 piles to choose from. This is a pretty epic reading. I'm going to just put it out there. I've tried to do this reading maybe 2 or 3 times already, and it just hasn't manifested completely. I've only managed to get to group 1, and then that's it. But I really want to kind of hopefully get this out to you. So I've got 4 piles and also 4 crystals, because that was a request from one of my lovely viewers. So pile 1, we have this gorgeous black moonstone. Pile 2, we have this Unakite. Sorry about that, if I can get my camera to actually focus. Is it going to focus? Yeah, there we go. And then we have pile 3 with this Sardonyx. And then we have pile 4 with this silver Jasper. So, pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4. You may pause the video if you choose to have some more time to meditate and choose your deck. But otherwise, my darlings, I'll see you at your reading. Timestamps will be in the description box below. See you there. Bye. Hi, pile 1. Welcome to your reading. So you chose the Black Moonstone, or pile 1. Now, what's really interesting about this Black Moonstone is that it's layered. So we've got these different layers that form the rock. We've also got this beautiful kind of like luminescent. Usually moonstone is quite pearlescent, but this piece isn't. It's just a bit flashy and polished. Also, I get the sense that because black moonstone is to do with the new moon energy, there is something about being in the dark, something about being not seen at the moment. But there's something very prominent here. It's even though it's not being seen, it's very, yeah, prominent. It's very noticeable. Like you can't not notice it. Also, even it's like shaped like a hexagon, so it's an obtuse kind of shape. It's not a smooth shape. There is smoothness here, but it's like there's a statement to be made here, even though you can't see it. Almost like in the darkness or in the silence, that's almost like the statement, if that makes sense. So I'm going to just pop that over there to begin with, and then we're going to have a look at your card. Okay, so we've got Unearth. Wow. So there's a beautiful poem that comes with, or a beautiful little first introductory kind of saying that comes with this card. I'll read it out to you because I think it would be really nice to start with. And because I've done this reading quite a few times and tried to read this deck, tried to read this reading a few times, I've seen just this one. But it seems like there's a different message that seems to come out, and whatever reading that you get to see is the reading that was meant to come out. So we'll see how it resonates. But Unearth, look at that. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Okay. I've definitely faced my shame and my grief and my rage. I've definitely sat on the edge of this cavernous wound or cavernous wound within me. I felt the healing after I've walked away. I don't need to be back here. Really interesting because, you know, I do get that feeling, and I did get that feeling with the other readings or other kind of interpretations that I did when I was looking at the Black Moonstone, that things are in the dark, but it doesn't mean that things aren't going on underneath the surface. There's very much this essence of the seed germinating in the soil before it's about to come up. And in the Northern Hemisphere, we're going into winter, or we are in winter now. And in the Southern Hemisphere, we're in summer. So it's almost like there's an expectation of something that should have been happening, but it hasn't. You've been wanting to make it happen, but it hasn't. There's still some work to do. There's still some T's to cross, I's to dot. There's still things that you have to take care of before you can kind of really unleash what you need to onto the world and do what you have to do. So let's get some astrology just to kind of have a look at what the forecast is saying in terms of the view of your Odyssey. Okay, so we've got Ascendant. And mad. Okay, we've got Imminum Coli. So, or Imminum Coli. So this is very much about you walking towards a sense of your destiny from a very inwardly direction. So what I mean by that is you may not be able to act out in the way that you want to, which is kind of congruent with the ascendant, but now you're looking at the things that are going on inside. And it's really interesting. I just noticed we've got these like seeds that are like giving birth, and these orchid roots and whatnot. So we've got a lot of things to do with plants. So it definitely feels like something is gestating, something is kind of working underneath the surface. You've got plans that are that are going to manifest in order for you to come forward and do what you have to do. But it's almost like you're still working things underneath. And you know what's really interesting? It's almost like you feel like you need to get out there and do stuff, but you still feel exceptionally vulnerable and almost unable to kind of step forward because you're in this sheltered space of being in the Imminum Coli. you're still working on those elements of the internal self, as opposed to the ascendant, which would be pushing it outwards and expressing it to everyone. I think what you're doing, consciously or not, you've worked a lot on your own personal kind of, dare I say it, brand. And when I say brand, I mean in total of yourself. Like, I mean as in like the sense of how people view you on the external. And you're looking and you're wanting to get out there and do that, but there's still a sense of trepidation, a sense of fear that's going on. And with this unearth card, it's like you want to dig it up, but the fruit is not ready yet. The vegetables, whatever, the thing that is under the ground, it's not ready to come out yet. And that's because there's still some inner work that's going on that is because you want to make sure that your personality that you're projecting or you're showing to other people is the best possible self. I wouldn't be surprised if there's been some things that have actually stopped you from putting yourself out there, and you may have wondered why. Because you might have thought that this was, you were kind of over this. You thought that you were done with this, because that's what this card says. It's kind of, you felt that you had been through all of these trials and tribulations, and again, you're back here again, and you're having to deal with this stuff, and it's just like, what's going on? But actually, it's something different that's appearing. It's almost prompting you to act in a very different way than you had done before. So it isn't the same thing as it was before. You're actually seeing the same thing, but with very different eyes, if that makes sense. So then that's the only way you can actually activate change. Really interesting. Okay, let me pull one of these cards for you. I'm astounded. Like, I did, as I said, I did this reading like 2-3 times already. 3 times, I think. This is the third, I think, or yeah, the third. Completely different readings. So, this was the message. It's interesting. Wow, imagination. I embrace and nourish the creative aspects of my mind. And it's reversed. So I do get that. I do get a sense that you're shutting something down. You're not allowing something to come up to the surface. I don't know why. Maybe you're a bit scared. I get a lot of fear, particularly with this card here. There's some kind of fear, something that's happening that maybe you don't feel comfortable with yourself, or you don't feel confident. Yeah, there's something that you're feeling a bit nervous about, scared about, or you just feel like you're not ready. But then we'll see what the cards have to say about this. So in the respect of looking at it as, asking what is your personal odyssey, right now you're in a space where I wouldn't say you were resting, but you are doing a lot of inward work. You may have been doing a lot of stuff and not really been around many other people. Yeah, you might not have been around other people while you were doing this work. Okay, I'll take these two, but I won't take the rest. So we've got the 7 of Pentacles here. We've got the 7 of Cups, and then we've also got the 2 of Cups. Wow. Okay. Okay. Sometimes these cards are quite good at jumping out, sometimes they're not. So I don't want to take it for granted that they will. 2 of Wands. Wow. Okay, and the Hierophant. I hope you can see those on the camera. Sorry. Not too bad. So basically, I don't know if you're waiting for someone to kind of help you. It feels like that. It feels like you're expecting some kind of help from outside or some kind of external prompt. Maybe a person or something to help you kind of get things moving. And the thing is that there are people that will help you. But I think there is a dedication that needs to be expressed, and it's the dedication to oneself that needs to kind of come to the surface. Because I think, to be honest, you're getting a little bit distracted with like possibilities, which is why you're not really looking at what you've got. Because, you know, you've got Two of Cups, Two of Wands. There's just this sense of like, you know, you've got things, you've got something that you can actually feel proud of, or that you can actually run with, you can actually move out with, you can show to the world. But I don't think you think it's good enough. And it's almost like you're waiting for someone else or something else. No, more someone else. You're waiting for other people to come forward so that you can move forward, and that will be that will help you to blossom and sprout. But what I think you need to do is to redirect this energy into yourself. Such a weird Hierophant. I don't know if you can see that. Probably can see it better on the camera than you can on... Yeah. But I mean, and it's interesting because it's a weird Hierophant. So if that's the case, then that means that something that looks menacing and not very familiar, but actually is something very familiar to you. It is actually something that's quite traditional and something that you need to like put your faith into. And also there's steps that you need to take and you need to follow them. Like you need, you know, for example, when you're driving a car, you need to do certain things. You need to get in the car, put on your seatbelt, then you need to stick the ignition to the car, or like press the, I don't know, like there's a certain like protocol of events or protocols of actions that you need to go by in order to do those things, and you have to be religious with these things. I think that's also what it's saying. We haven't got the Two of Pentacles here, so I think that that's because you're building something completely new, and it's quite challenging for you to do something, to kind of go into that space and build it, particularly when your imagination is quite low and you're like, how am I going to like bring this into like some kind of active manifestation? How am I going to be able to like actually push that shoot up so that it kind of comes out? And that's going to be by faith and actual, you know, religiously following the steps like you need to, you know. It doesn't mean that you don't work hard or anything like that. It just means that, you know, you can't be scattered. And the Seven of Cups here kind of says to me about the, you know, the lack of stability. You know, we've got the Seven of Pentacles reversed and then the Seven of Cups upright. So it's almost like you're a victim of choice. Like there's so many different ways that you could do something. Like you're on the sea and there's so many different directions that you can head in. And that's almost like leaving you in a stalemate. So there's something about you really trusting yourself and trusting the faith that you have in what you're doing to be able to move forward. I do also see like there may be a relationship, like once you do this, there may be a relationship, or there may be somebody like a friend who helps you to kind of like bring stuff out. But it's also that you may be wanting someone else to help you when really all you can do is help yourself. So it's almost like you've got to drive the ship. You can't get someone else to drive it for you. Okay. So okay, so we've got Justice with the Seven of Pentacles. This is a lesson in how to deal with it. Right, okay. Page of Pentacles reversed. The Four of Cups reversed. Interesting. The Fool reversed. And the High Priestess. Wow, okay. So we've got some big cards already here. Others will motivate you to take action, I think. So like checking in with some good friends or something like that will help you to kind of like move on. You really do need to get organised. Helen from Eye of the Serpent Tarot sees the Page of Pentacles as a business plan reversed. Sorry, the Page of Pentacles reversed as a business plan. What's really interesting is that because we've got the Seven of Cups here, I always see the Page of Pentacles reversed as a bit of a player, somebody who can't commit. So these choices that you have and directions, different directions in where you want to go, is really kind of stopping you from being able to go forward. So it's really important to put a plan in place. And this is all happening exactly how it's supposed to. Like it's just like this is almost like a karmic lesson that's happening within you or happening in your situation, so that will prompt you to move and make a start, because you know that you're absolutely no way being able to start, even though you really need to and you want to and go forward, because actually you've got nothing, you know, like it's almost like you don't have maybe a business or whatever. You don't have that initially, and now you've got to build it. So the Hierophant with the High Priestess is really interesting, because this is about you just getting on and doing it, you know. Really, there's no emotion around here. The only ones we have really is not emotion. We don't have any fire here. It's a bit cold. So we have the Two of Wands, which is reversed, which is a little bit like the Tower to me, because it means that everything's kind of broken down. The idealization that you had, the castle that you were in, has broken down, and it's not. Either you've outgrown your castle, or it's just not really where you want to be right now. So now you have to move on, and you have to do something differently. And you have to do it with, you know, it isn't a new beginning for you. It isn't. It's something different. But I think you're moving forward to taking those steps. I just think you're a bit scared to go on the voyage, I think. Let's see why. Why are you scared to go on the voyage? Why is pile 1 scared to go on the voyage? I just realised there was another oracle card that I wanted to pull, so I'll pull that. What is pile 1's personal odyssey? What is pile 1's personal odyssey? What is pile 1's personal odyssey? Wow, the Siren. A temptation may lead you astray, and it's reversed. So you know that you've got to get a move on. You know that you've got to. I'm resonating with it. That's why I'm laughing. Like you know that you've got to get moving with this now. There's no time for any distractions. You have to make sure that you're really clear about what you do, because there's an Ace of Cups here waiting for you with this 4 reversed. 4 of Swords reversed. You know, I'm filming this at night. If I was filming this during the day, you would have been able to see the card, these cards really beautifully. But unfortunately, this is when the reading wants to come out. So sorry. Wow, the Queen of Cups. Look at that, Queen of Cups, and then it looks like a mermaid, which you've also got here. That's very interesting. Very interesting indeed. So there's no time to rest. I think you realise that you've had a lot of time where you haven't really done too much, or you haven't been able to do as much as you wanted to. You may have wanted to kind of keep yourself in a space where you felt emotionally able, but you know, what comes to mind is that idea of, you know, you're never going to be ready. You just have to just do it, you know? Page of Pentacles reversed. Hang on a minute. Oh my God. So you got Page of Pentacles twice. Yeah. You have to keep distractions to a minimum. I think what's also been happening is that you've been maybe procrastinating and looking at other things and doing other things in order to like kind of distract yourself. Ace of Wands reversed. Okay. It's because you haven't felt motivated at all. You know that this is what you want to do. You know that you want to get on this boat, this metaphorical boat of this Odyssey, and you know that you want to take this journey, but you just don't feel inspired by it. Why is that? Tell me more. Tell me a bit more. I think you've been distracted though. I think you've been distracted majorly, but you have been using, your procrastination has been pretty good. Like you've been doing worthwhile things. You've really been expanding your repertoire, your psychic abilities. Or, you know, if any of you are like going into the healing profession or anything like that, where you're using these kind of skills, tarot readers, shamanic healers, or Reiki healers, you know, there's been this, you know, you've been perfecting that. You've been really coming to terms with how you feel about it, how you want to feel at home and okay about this. But yeah, there hasn't been a drive really to do it. Two of Wands again reversed. Yeah, it's like a mini tower moments you've been having, trying to kind of get yourself together to do this, and gathering up the strength to help yourself do this and do what you've got to do. I don't really see a romantic thing. I'm seeing this with like a personal development thing. I'm thinking of like something that you have really been wanting to do, get on with. It may be even just a hobby or something that you wanted to do, but there's just a lot of procrastination around it. Eight of Cups. Yeah, there's things that you have needed to walk away from, to kind of to not engage with anymore in order for you to move forward. Ten of Wands reversed. Yeah, you're really having to get over something. Nine of Pentacles. Lovely. And then last card in Tarot, Eight of Pentacles reversed. Wow. Interesting. The 9 to the 8. What I'm getting from that is that I don't think it's as nearly as hard, because I think we had the 8 of Pentacles somewhere with the other deck. I don't know. Yes, we did. Here. Was it reversed as well? No. I think it's here. I'm not too sure, but I think we had it with the other deck. So what I think is that it's actually not as hard as you think it is. You actually have to come out and like engage with people. I think you think that you have to like really work hard in order to like get what you need. And it's not that. It's just that you have to follow things step by step, and you just have to just keep on putting one foot in front of the other. Just keep on walking, you know, and if you're not successful, just keep on trying, just keep on doing it. Eight of Pentacles is more about the refinement of the art. And I think that, to be fair, I think you've already got there because you've got the Nine of Pentacles here. You know that you're now ready to put it out there and give it as a service. And you're kind of fed up that you don't really want to, you know, you know, you're fed up of it being a burden, that you're not actually going forward and doing what you need to do. So, yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. Right, so let's have a little look at the blue dragonfly and see, like, what it is that may be, like, the kind of key factor to overcoming this and moving forward. The journey is very much, this is exactly the journey you're supposed to be on. So, you know, this is, as I said, it's your personal odyssey. This is your work. This is the thing that you have to do. Like, this is just the journey of you, you know, in terms of understanding yourself and how you work within this world. Okay, so we've got thirst for revenge here. We've got conspiracy, justice will be served, victim role and anger, and it's reversed. So what I get by that is that you're fed up of being a victim. You're fed up of really doing this thing of stepping back and not really moving forward with what you need to be moving forward with. Okay, and we'll get a card from the Sacred Heart Oracle. Okay, doorway to sacred union. Now, there's two things I've got from this. There is a possibility that you could end up finding a relationship by the time you crack on with this and just get on with this. But also, it will really help you to unite with yourself, to really understand yourself in a way that you've never understood yourself before, and to be able to really unify yourself. So, what I gather from this is that this is a pattern that is within you, that has come from always having too much choice. There has been a lot of choice. And you may have dabbled in a lot of things. You may have done a lot of things. You may have taken a lot of choices in terms of what you're doing. And then you finally kind of like settle down on one. But then still you're not feeling ready to put yourself out there. And it's almost like you really are ready to step out and be out there. And now all the distractions that you put in place, they are not, you know, it's just not, they're not relevant anymore. So, okay, last card. Sorry about that. Last card, which I'm going to kind of give you some practical advice in terms of what you can do now. Oh, you've got two. So, you got the colours of nature remind me of the vibrancy of both my inner and outer worlds. I'm a master manifester and visualize my spiritual power growing day by day. I mean, these are pretty good, useful techniques, exercises to partake in order for you to kind of move forward and get this boat moving. Because I think, you know, because the imagination has been stunted, that's why the Ace of Wands is reversed. And there's something very cold here, particularly with the Hierophant and the High Priestess. So it's almost like, because you need something to kind of stimulate you. That's probably why there's like distractions, but it's almost like, you know, these distractions don't really work anymore. So it's really important for you to kind of, and I know how that feels, because, you know, you try and distract yourself with certain things, but then you really know that that's not really what's supposed to be happening. You're supposed to be doing something else. Your job is actually really important. You know, you need to show up for that. And I don't know, this could be like something, as I said, it could be like a purpose or something that you know that you're meant to do. And you just can't seem to be able to kind of do it. So I think it's really important to exercise, you know, I'm a master manifestor and visualize my spiritual power growing every day, so that you're able to, like, you know, rise this kundalini, rise this energy, and make it kind of into something so that you can start making stuff. And the colours of nature remind me of the vibrancy of both my inner and outer worlds. It's really important for you to get out in nature. Exceptionally important. Nature will give you ideas on how to like put yourself forward. So make it a priority for you to get out in nature, so that you can kind of make sure that you really connect with yourself to move on this journey. So my friends, I hope you enjoyed that. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. But my friends, I hope you enjoyed that reading. That was such a beautiful reading and I got a lot from that one. But anyway, please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share if you wish with anyone who you think might like it. Please comment below. I'd love to hear what you thought about it and what you got from it. But otherwise, my darlings, you take care. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, evening, morning, whenever you're watching this. And remember that honesty is always key. Bye. Hello, pile 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose this Unakite stone, or you chose this here, this card. Let's see what it is. Wow, fracture. Okay. So my friends, I just wanted to double check like what exactly were the properties of Unakite. And it is a stone of vision. It's a stone of being able to see things with clarity, bringing the spiritual and the emotional together. It's almost like bringing that kind of intuitive sight into place so that you can basically see things with a whole balanced view. It's also very grounding as well. So I don't know, it seems a little bit like towery moment that's going on here with this fracture card. So there may have been something that happened that's causing you to really like ground yourself and help you feel better about things. So let me just have a look in the book, because there's some beautiful poems in here, or a beautiful, like, it's just got a really nice thing that it says as part of it. And I'll just read that to you. Yeah, it's very towery. It's exceptionally tower-like. So the house is on fire, and the places in our brain that give balance, reason, and meaning have been stripped away. We are left with the animal within. So we run from one place to another, or we sink into darkness. And sometimes we stop and find ourselves for a moment, only for the world to tilt once again. We can't stop on the unraveling, but we can meet our body. We can hold it through its fear and freeze. We can find a home with the ancient within. So it seems like things are really kind of, there's a face of an upheaval here. I'm just having a look at what is going on with the art. Like, the artist wanted to depict this kind of breakdown that happened usually at times of when there was a turn of Saturn. So something might be going on here in that respect for you. You may be at a turn of Saturn, or there may be events that were happening at your turn of Saturn kind of resonating now. You may be feeling some after effects of that. There may also be some aspects that are happening within your chart in respect to Saturn. So there's nothing like majorly of Saturn going on at the moment, astrologically, but for you, you know, it's very individual, and also for you it may be happening. And also with Unakite, it's almost like telling you to like get it together, like keep it together, because you've got this. You can really understand yourself in a much better way than you have done previously. So I'll just pop that there with your crystal. And let's have a look at your cards. So astrology wise, we've got Aries. And it's reversed. We've got first house. Interesting. First house and Aries reversed. Wow. Okay. So, I mean, this is definitely to do with the self. It's to do with the sense of personality and your drive and yourself. Maybe you thought that you could do something and now you can't because you're having to kind of reevaluate who you are, who you truly are. You know, it could be the sense of like that you made your career in something. Excuse me. And now you have realized that that's not really actually where you want to be. Discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to, and it's reversed. Okay. Wow, and the caduceus. Caduceus, yeah. You will receive news from afar. Interesting. So it seems like some big event that has actually caused you to kind of draw upon those internal reservoirs of strength has shaken you, has caused you to kind of stop really doing what you were doing that helped you. Maybe you had a lot of discipline. Maybe you were really, you had some routines in place where you were able to kind of stick to things, but now you're needing to, you're not kind of able to stick to them as well as you did before. And this may be as a result of news that you have heard that has caused this kind of like breakdown. I almost feel like this is almost like a bit like a root canal. Do you know what I mean? Like, or maybe there's some kind of like big fracture that's gone right into the tooth, but obviously it's quite small, isn't it? But the fracture in a tooth is quite important. So it kind of encourages us to really reconsider what our patterns are, what we thought that we should be doing. Is really, does it still work now? Is that really something that I can continue to do? What I do also get here is that this sense of discipline, I don't know, like we've got these habits that were formed, but really, I don't know. I don't feel like the discipline is really as because discipline creates freedom, but I don't know. It just seems like this is misdirected, particularly with Aries reversed. The drive is misdirected. And I think it's because this kind of tower moment has happened in order for you to recognize like why this, like coming back to what the essence is of where this drive is coming from. You're not just doing things mindlessly. I think that's what I was getting, like, just getting on the treadmill and just kind of doing the walk, as opposed to, really engaging with the act of walking. I don't know if that makes any sense. And I think that it's either that the event will like prompt you into like taking some kind of better action, or I think that this news will like cause this fracture, so it will encourage some kind of reassessment of your current status. So right now, if I was to think about the analogy of the Odyssey, of your Odyssey, I think you've hit an iceberg. Yeah, I think you've hit an iceberg. The news is an iceberg. And it's like, okay, so what do I do about it? And what's interesting is that the internal hub is still protected, but you can't go forward. Can't move forward. And everything has gone awry, like everything's gone all over the place. So let's have a look at what is going on. Okay, we've got the Eight of Pentacles, the Devil, the Seven of Swords. Wow. Justice reversed, Queen of Cups reversed. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. There's a real element of dishonesty here, particularly with the devil reversed. Sorry, the devil upright and the Seven of Swords together. I don't know, maybe somebody's worked hard to like keep the idea of a mirage, of an illusion, like around them, so that they can kind of fit in within that. It could be like, just as an example in terms of that, like somebody cheated on you, or not even that, somebody cheated you out of some money or something, and you trusted them. You thought that it's like they said that they would take care of something, or someone said that they would take care of something while you went off and did your own thing. And because you kind of got so absorbed with that thing, they took this as a chance to be able to manipulate. And somebody has wronged you, or there has been something that's deeply happened. There's been like some kind of betrayal that's happened here, or something quite deeply wrong, and it's something to do with this Queen of Cups. It's not really... It may be somebody that is kind of feigning themselves to you. Just want to do one more. Yeah, the Emperor. Oh God, the Emperor reversed. All right. Yeah, so it's just literally some kind of like control. For some of you, it could be a, you know, like, it could be a character that is asserting dominance in a way that they feel that they've got to, like, it could be like attributed to like some kind of narcissism in a way, because with the Devil, the Emperor reversed, Justice reversed, and it's like they're almost fleecing you in a way. They're trying to fleece you for what they can. So it's, I'm trying to think of what part of the Odyssey it feels like. Because I don't know which bit, I don't know, I can't remember if there was a bit where Odysseus was betrayed by some of his crew. I think there was. I think there was something like that, but I can't remember which part of it was like that. Let me double check and see. Okay, so I just wanted to check what part of the Odyssey was about betrayal. And there was a bit where Odysseus's crew like betrayed him completely. Like it was something that he wanted. They wanted to go to a particular island, so he listened to his crew. And he didn't really want to go to this island, but then he listened to them, and then they ended up going to this island. They ended up getting beached there for a month. So this put more time on the whole journey, and then their provisions ran out. It was the island of the sun where they stayed. And then what they did is they ended up, like, while Odysseus was asleep, they ended up slaughtering, like, the prize animal of the sun. So then the sun god asked Zeus to take revenge on them killing his prized animal. So, I mean, the needs and wants of other people are causing, you know, some kind of betrayal to happen, because, you know, it's those needs, it's those wants. And it's almost like there's been like a lot of work that's gone into something, like in terms of creating this planet. There's been a lot of, you know, you built the ship, you've had these adventures, you've got the kind of like things where you've done stuff and you're kind of just plodding along. But then, you know, there's this sense of someone who just is kind of really giving it. They really want their own way. And it's a very dominant force. It's a very dominant kind of imposing, self-centered, almost dictatorial. So you may find that you're in a situation where you don't have any say, where you can't really connect in a way. You've got no choice but to follow, really. Or just, you know, kind of like maybe somebody wanted to do something and you were like, that doesn't really sound like the greatest of ideas, but like, okay, I'll go along with it. And then lo and behold, the shiz hits the fan. We've got the 5 of Cups clarifying the 8 of Pentacles. The 3 of Cups reversed. Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely a disagreement amongst the parties. 2 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords. The Star reversed, Queen of Cups. Right, okay, so you're dealing with somebody that's quite, like, I would say that's got some kind of depression. Like, they really have, their lack of faith in themselves, it completely destabilizes them. So then it kind of like causes this reverberation effect. And because you're trying to accommodate for this person, it could be a situation, could be you, but I don't know. I just feel like there's some real lack of being able to take accountability for one's own feelings, and this affects everything. It really messes things up. Just like, you know, he ended up losing his entire crew. They ended up going in a store. They ended up going on their way, and then the entire crew got lost, and it was just Odysseus that managed to come back. So 8 of Pentacles again. Yeah, so basically like all the hard work that you did just gets undone. You may have found that. If it hasn't happened yet, I don't want to freak you out or anything. This could be completely wrong. Or it could be that you feel like that. You know, it might not necessarily have happened. But there does, I'm not going to lie, like it does seem that there is a state where, and it's very unfair. It's not fair at all. You feel like your hard work has been undone. And King of Swords, wow. Yeah. Somebody has definitely like put their foot down. You've got some really not so great people here. Queen of Cups reversed and King of Swords reversed. The ultimate, like, totally cold and totally emotional and off over the top. Wow. So you're dealing with some people. Some really, really weird people. And it's interesting because it's the 3 of Cups, so it might be a dynamic that you've ended up being involved in. With the 5 of Cups, there's this sense of you kind of having to like it and lump it. There's not really much you can do about it. You're just kind of, you know, like with the story of Odysseus, he was asleep. So, and they killed it. They killed this lamb, whatever it is, or animal, while he was asleep. So he couldn't even like protest and say, no, don't do it, because otherwise, you know, bad things is going to happen. But no, they just killed it and ate it. And that's why like, not so great things happened. 7 of Pentacles. That says to me it's like very short term. So it's almost like, you know, that group of friends that tease you about not drinking and saying, come on, have one drink. Come on, come on, come on. Knowing that you're an alcoholic kind of thing. And the kind of spoils and wins are very minimal. They're not really as great as they make them out to be. Page of Pentacles, interesting. Five of Wands. Yeah, I mean, that analogy that I just used with the party goers and drinking, that seems very apt. 5 of Cups again reversed. Oh no, it's not, it's reversed this time. Okay, so this is telling me how you're going to get over it. Brilliant. Yeah, I think you're going to understand that you think very differently to these people. So once you really kind of distance yourself from those people, then you'll realize that, you know, you're not like that. And the only reason why you're not in this space where you can actually take charge and move forward is because you're in this situation. It's almost like you're in the thick of it. So you can't really make a decision. So in a way, with the whole, like, with the storm and all of his men dying, now he can just get on and do what he has to do. You know, he may have lost things, but he can still do what he needs to do. As in Odysseus. There is still a bit of naivety going on here, though. You know, it's but I think it's understanding that this has happened for a reason. 2 of Wands reversed, 3 of Pentacles, and the 9 of Cups. Yeah, you start to understand who it is that you can actually trust to make things happen. Oh, that's nice. And because of that kind of turmoil that you've had to go through, like, this might have already been happening. You might be here already. You know, because then it's kind of like, right, okay, because this turmoil has happened and now you're starting to reassimilate. So say, for example, you might have had to get rid of all of your friends because of a certain thing that happened, and you kind of like thought, wow, you know, I don't know if I can really trust people. So you've actually started to work on yourself, come back to home in terms of your values. And then maybe you got a job somewhere else and you started again. So then there's this sense of you kind of really going, you know, really having an opportunity to delve into what you want, as opposed to like just settling or working within what you've got already, you know. How many do we have here? 4. No, I want 3, thanks. Yes. Okay. Page of Cups. Nice. So, you know, there's this real kind of like sense of you being a little bit more open emotionally once you've started to kind of like, this 9 of Cups has started to come through and you've started to actually gain some hope and happiness for the future. 6 of Cups. Yeah, I also feel like with that Hanged Man that was there, that you actually honestly appreciate everything that the past has brought to you, and you accept things for the way that they are. Very, very noble of you, pile 2. Wow, and the Empress reversed. Still not over, though. Very much like the Odyssey. Yeah. And the reason why I laugh is because you think that you've gotten over something and then it's like something else crops up. So the Emperor came out earlier and now the Empress. Interesting. It's almost like they're trying to like mess up. They're trying to trip you up. Because, you know, when Odysseus came back, he couldn't just walk in home. You know, all of these men were like trying to get on his wife, and they wanted to kill his son as well. So there's still something else. But I think you still kind of strive forward. I think this time has encouraged you to actually be able to like move forward in a way. I would say just watch out for your step. You know, with the High Priestess and with the Empress reverse, there's a kind of moving away completely from the Divine Feminine. In terms of a, you know, receptive and creative state. Like it's just like, right, I'm just going to go forward and just drive. And I think it's not the Knight of Wands who's just kind of going willy-nilly and just going for it, but it's still quite dominant and forceful to kind of combat with this like Emperor and this King of Swords. So what that means is that there's like these negative kind of male energies that really feel dominating towards you in a way that you can't be warm, and you can't be, or you can't feel that you can get what you want in any way. So there's a tendency to kind of fall, or like maybe a reactionary thing that happens to force yourself literally upon the situation so that you can make your mark. And that is kind of not really met very well. So that's something to consider. Yeah, I want this one. You got one of the extra cards in this deck. It's called Challenge, and it's reversed. So, I mean, what I got immediately from that is that it's not going to be that big a deal. It's actually not going to be that big a deal. Considering everything that you've been through, it's actually not going to be that big a deal. And the Tower is reversed. Interesting. Interesting. So, okay, two meanings. So either you think that the challenge is not that big a deal and you just kind of like go ahead with it, but actually it is. So it either isn't or it is, you know. But I don't think you'll know until you go in there. First of all, the impression I got is that the challenge isn't that big. But with these two now, I'm just thinking it possibly could be, you know. The last thing of Odysseus coming back and like having to reclaim his kingdom after he's come back is a whole story in itself. So it's almost like that. It's almost like you've come back now, come to reclaim what is yours, but you've still got these two issues that are going on. Really interesting reading, part 2. Love it. Like an episode of like EastEnders or something, I don't know. Anyway, so you've got game over, need to close, final point, conclusion, transmutation after the end. Yeah, absolutely. I think you mean business. Like you have come in to really sort things out, sort people out, sort what people are doing. And you're not going to take any prisoners. Like you're really gonna kind of go for it. Nourishing the blood. Now you've got two of these cards. So you've got nourishing the blood. And then you also got the damaged brow. Wow. All right. So this is you taking care of yourself and understanding what your needs and wants are. But then also recognizing that you've been on this journey. Like you've been on this massive journey of having to deal with these people, of having to, you know, pretty much rebuild yourself from the ground up, and then also see it all kind of crash down. And you doing it again and again. You might have done it several times. And you might have like thought to yourself, you've gone through like several kind of cycles of this thing. But it's almost like this is, you know, this is saying to you that this is the Odyssey. And it's actually, I think in a way, it is an actual nourishing of the blood because it helps your blood to be stronger. But also I would do stuff to like, I would do a detox in terms of like cleansing your in terms of being able to cope now, like cleansing your blood. Okay, so to close out the reading, I've got two of these cards which will help you to engage in some like practical advice right now. And it says here, trusting my intuition comes easily to me and fills me with the self-confidence I need to be a spiritual master. You are masters, pile 2. You're captains of your ships. So remember that. And even though things may seem a little bit tough, you've got a lot going on, and it's interesting. We've got Caduceus there and there. That's more like the Sepulchre's sign, but still, it's that sign of healing. They're both wands of healing. There's also something very shamanic about this. You've got the feather, you've also got the crystals, you know, snakes, stars, flowers. So I would definitely say, like, make sure that you take time to meditate, get in touch with your intuition, because it's going to be the one thing that kind of like helps you more than anything else. And then you've got this card here. Connecting with animals grounds me and reminds me of my responsibility to protect all creatures on our shared planet. I think you really trust animals. I think there's a part of you that really feels that animals can give you guidance in a way that you really can't get with the other people that have been around you. So use your allies, use your animal allies to help you in that respect. Because it seems to me like you're kind of you're on a very important like kind of last leg of your journey in a way. however long this could take like 20 years or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be like, you know, that's it. But it just means I just feel like this is like the kind of the last portion kind of thing of your journey, you know, but it's a massive bit. It's not, you know, and I don't mean that in any, when I say it's the last kind of portion, I mean it's like the final chapter, but it isn't the end of the story, you know. This is just the Odyssey, you know. It's like before it becomes like peaceful, and then you just kind of like live a peaceful life, if you know what I mean. I don't know, I just feel like this is like the last kind of thing that you have to sort out before you can do what you really want, before you can live how you really want to, I feel. Yeah, that's what I get. But my friends, I hope you enjoyed that reading. That was pretty intense. But I knew these ones were going to be, because, I mean, look at the subject. And, yeah, they're just amazing. And I've just come back from Vipassana, so, of course, it's going to be deep. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. But otherwise, my darlings, please let me know what you thought, and also your comments in the section below. I love to hear from you. But otherwise, you take care, my darlings. Speak to you soon. And remember that honesty is always key. Bye. Hello, Pal 3. Hello, Pal 3, and welcome to your reading. So, you chose either Pal 3 or this beautiful red banded Sardonyx. Now, this Sardonyx is an ancient stone that was used by the ancient Greeks the ancient Romans quite a lot. I think also by the ancient Greeks as well. And it was used for particularly like making the cameos that they used to have, because what they used to do is they used to like carve through that one color, and then they used to like, so that it would go, so the external would be this color. It's kind of like different color, because they come in like red, brown, black, and then it would expose this kind of like whitish color that's underneath. But it's also very good for protection. It would be used to protect soldiers in war, and it would be worn by women mainly women, to evoke love. Or people to evoke some kind of love. Now, this is also a red stone, a red Sardonyx, so there's something very stimulating. So there's something about you being able to kind of establish yourself, ground yourself, feel that you're in a space where you need to know that you're going to be okay in getting what you want. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's coming from the stone. I think that's all I've got for now. Let's see what the card says. Wow, fog. Interesting. Okay, I will read to you what it says in there, because it does feel like things aren't as clear as they could be. I'm feeling a little bit like it's almost like you need this to root down and ground, because there's so much going on. Okay, let's see what it says. Fog. Here in the fog, we find no names. The compass we've carried, the one that has guided us through the many twists and turns, is only useful if we have sight. There is no road out, and so we must wait, holding our trust and surrender close as we imagine a new world to run to. Wow. So, whereas pile 2 had the card fracture and was more kind of an external situation in terms of transformation and change, this card is more about internal transformation. And I mean, with this kind of like input of black and then going through the prism and then out, it's almost like you're in this space where, similar to pile 1, something is going on beneath the surface, but it's very much a conscious change that's going on. And I think you're honestly, you know, you realize where you are and you understand you're in this space, and you're actually giving yourself the opportunity to be able to experience it. It's almost like, you know that it's difficult, you know that you need to button down the hatches and just get your anchor out and just stay put. And that's kind of what's happening. So let's see what your other cards say. I'm going to pop your Sardonyx stone there with the card, just in the corner. And let's see what your astrology says. We've got masculine. Well, then that matches very much with that red Sardonyx stone. We've got 33, a master number. And Capricorn, wow. Yeah, you definitely know what you are doing, pile 3. And I'll be honest with you, like the majority of my pile 3s usually do, but we've got kind of like an anomaly. We've got a pile number 4. So usually I would see my pile 3s as a kind of spiritually advanced in a way. And I definitely see that here. It may even be like an induced state that you've decided to do in order to, you may have gone on a retreat, you may have, or a deep meditation retreat, you may have gone on some kind of intense experience, weekend, week, whatever. You may have put your body through something to kind of figure out something. And to kind of see if you can gain some clarity about a situation that you've got, because you know that you're going to really need your game upped. At this point, you're going to have to put on your A game. So you're kind of preparing yourself for it. Indecision, interesting. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. And then we've got the Griffin. Honor and good luck. Wow. Okay, so you're actually moving into a space where you know that you can't really make any major decisions, and it actually is working out in your favor. I feel like you really know what you're doing. You know the kind of sea that you're sailing. You understand what's happened. You've been through certain experiences, and you're taking action in almost inaction, and you're blessed by that. And you're trusting your intuition in a way that you may have not done before. You're even transmuting your understanding of this experience. It's pretty deep. Okay, right. So let's have a look at what the cards want to say. So you got a few more cards than the others. You got 3 of these, and I think you got a few of the others as well. So, okay, so wow, Page of Pentacles so far has come up for everybody. So there's some kind of sense of still finding your feet, even though you've got the experience. You're still experiencing things on quite a new level. The Chariot. So we've got the 5 of Wands and the Chariot. The Magician. See, I told you. You guys know what you're doing. Knight of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Okay, so I think like essentially where you are, if you're not in a relationship, you may desire to want to be in one. If you don't, then bear with me. I'm just going to go from the perspective of those of you who are not in a relationship and want one. I think there is you've been going through this kind of like spiritual, for some of you, I feel like you've been going through this spiritual process and you kind of know what you've been doing and you know how things have gone and you've been really working in yourself. It may not necessarily be spiritual, actually. It might be just internally, in terms of personality. So you may have done like some major work on your personality. Because we've got some very masculine signs there. So this to me says about the thinking mind, not so much the intuitive or the spiritual. I mean, spiritual obviously is both feminine and masculine, but I'm not really getting that vibe here, to be honest. And there's people here. You may have children, actually. You may be someone that has recently gotten pregnant. And it might have been unexpected, but you might have decided to have the child or something like that. Or it may have been that there's a situation that an opportunity has come about and you've decided to almost like take it. The image I just got was just like a spider catching a fly, and then it's wraps it up, and then it's just kind of like contemplating when it's going to eat it, kind of thing. And it's just like wrapping it up and keeping it away. That's kind of what I got. So yeah, you're in a space of consolidation. You know that you can't really stand still, though. You know that you can't really be, even though you're in this fog. Well, actually, no. Sorry, ignore me with that. The reason why you can't move forward is because you're in this fog. Otherwise, the Knight of Pentacles, and even then, you'd be quite careful and considered about how you move forward. But right now, you're deciding that you're kind of, I see the feet and the hooves of the horses kind of like, I don't know where I'm going to go kind of thing, like in the stalls kind of thing. And it wants to go on. Because I definitely feel with this Nine of Pentacles reversed, there's a move towards not being alone. So, I mean, it could also be that you're moving towards wanting to be with a community as well. So not just, not just for those of you who are looking for a relationship, but it feels more to me like companionship. You're moving towards wanting to create a tribe and have companionship of some sort. You'd really like it. It really helps. You really feel that it helps you. It helps to ground you a lot more. Because it's interesting. We got the Page of Pentacles and then it's the Knight of Pentacles reversed. So it's almost like, you've got like a good stead to kind of step off. But then there's just this, to actually put it into action is a different matter. And that's because you're not clear at the moment. But you're totally okay with that, For example, like group 1, they weren't okay with that. They were quite annoyed that they were in this period. Whereas like, and it's fine. Well, it's challenging, but, it's better for you than it is for what some people would have. God, Two of Pentacles, that's come up like for everyone, seriously. Two of Pentacles reversed. King of Wands, Five of Wands, the Seven of Swords, the Five of Cups reversed, the Devil reversed, and the Page of Wands. That's really interesting because the Devil reversed I usually see as the King of Pentacles reversed. So I think if you move forward in this situation, or before you're ready, there's a danger, and you see that, so you're bypassing that, and you want to go in with something a little bit more active. Like, even though the Page of Pentacles is great, You want something that would really kind of like help you to move forward a little bit more and be able to kind of instigate this communication with other people in more of a community sense. I don't really see it as a love sense. I see it more that you want to kind of, you've been doing a lot of work on your own, or a lot of stuff on your own, and now you want to do things with people now. You've also got the Five of Cups here, clarifying the Magician. So, you know, there may have been some instances in the past where you felt that you're not really able to trust people. But I think you also get it, right? That not everybody can be your friend. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can go into a place and you can think that you've got lots of people that you get on with. But really, only maybe one or two of them you'll really keep in contact with, or like you'll really find that sense of connection with. And I think that's exactly why, like here, you're choosing to come away from any kind of tomfoolery or anything like that. So any hint that you get of anybody messing around, you just hightail it out of there. So your values have become really high. Your BS meter is really high as well. Yeah, you're not standing for it. Because you've got like, you've also got this King of Wands character. Now, I don't know if that's you, or if it's somebody that's like mentoring the situation. Five of Wands. Where's the Devil? Did I not see the Devil? No, that isn't with you. Sorry. No, that's not with you. I just see generally a really good attitude in terms of your situation. But it's just not clear. You can't like move forward immediately because there's a bit of an imbalance here. You know that remaining in this state like makes you unbalanced. That if you're in a state where you want to kind of move forward and do things when you're not ready. So you're kind of waiting for that. And not only that, I think you've also been involved with like destabilizing people and situations, and you're like, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm gonna do something different. I'm going to make sure that I don't. I just read this thing actually about narcissists, and there was a guy in the comments section that said that he created a boundary, quite a weak boundary, nothing really major. But if the people that he was dating crossed the boundary or ignored it, then they saw it. That's his red flag to hightail it out of there. That's the sign, get out. So there's a bit of that, I would say. You know, you understanding what your boundaries are and not really letting anyone come in the way of it. Okay, well, look, I was saying, oh, the Devil's around. See, the Devil reversed. Oh, because the Devil's here, that's why. I was looking for the Devil. See, we've got the Devil twice reversed. Yeah, you really know, like, what's going on. Maybe people are trying to, like, I think people are trying to fool you. They're trying to, like, charm their way into your life. And they're giving you false promises as well about it. But you're being really discerning. High Priestess again reversed. Wow. Yeah, they may even be, like, you could even be engaging in this kind of behaviour, but they may even be trying to get you to go and do things that you really wouldn't be up for, or even like money. So for example, maybe getting you to go out and spend money when you really don't have it, that kind of thing. So, but you've got some real integrity with the Devil. You really are like making sure that you do not, you're not gonna fly with that. You're not going to get wrapped up in that kind of behaviour so that you end up regretting it. Okay, one more card. Wow, the Hanged Man reversed. it's really interesting. I used a similar analogy, I think, with pile 2, but like it's like you've got a group of friends that are trying to like make you do stuff, or like there's pressure, there's social pressure to kind of do something, but you're not giving in for love nor money. You're like, right, okay. Okay, so we've got the 8 of Swords, the Queen of Wands, the 7 of Wands, the 5 of Swords, which always looks to me like the 7 of Swords. So from here, I think that somebody will be quite persistent in trying to get you to kind of listen to them. They will do. They'll try and break you. They'll try and make you do something that you don't want to do. It's very interesting because the whole thing was with Odysseus that, you know, he ended up listening to his crew several times and making like grave decisions in terms of his crew and what they were doing. And it led to their downfall like several times. But it made for a good story. Good drama. So, yeah. So this is what it feels a bit like. Like you're against the odds because it feels like there are people and like there are just hiccups that could have been like much easier things to cope with. But they're not, because people are just kind of wrapped up in their own things that they're doing. I just noticed these like this cloud of like darkness that's above here. That's really interesting. It could be that somebody's said that they give up, but they don't. It's almost like, oh yeah, you win. But really, they're carrying a bit of a grudge. Because he's taking the 2 swords away. So what that says to me is that it's almost like he's not saying anything. And because he's wearing a mask as well, just kind of said, there's somebody who's not revealing their true nature in the respect of like what they really think about a situation. We've also got the 7 of Wands as well, reversed. It's quite overpowering to know that that's going on. I think you know it's going on. I think you get it. You know it because you're deeply intuitive about it. Like you sense it, you know it. But it's almost like you're kind of bound by this situation. You're not able to express yourself in the way that you need to. And here we go again. I said that the King of Pentacles reversed for me is like a lesser devil, and you've got the King of Pentacles reversed. There's some like really shady behavior going on, I think. Absolutely. Absolutely. Somebody is being shady. And it's not working. God, these 2 kings. King of Cups reversed as well. Okay. So another analogy I can think of for this situation is a CEO of a company has decided to take some time off for their mental health, or to basically just get themselves back together. And they've had to disconnect completely from everything that they've had to do with the company. So they've just had to just leave it. And in their absence, there's been this whole thing that's been going on between these 2. And they may have thought, right, we want to get that other person out, you know. This guy's motives is not that great. It doesn't have to be a guy, but whoever this is, the motives and the energy is not very productive. It's very consuming and not very enterprising. But then you've also got the King of Cups here reversed, who is someone who just flies off the handle at times, is a bit of an emotional wreck, may also drink as well, or take some kind of intoxicants to kind of cope. This one too, they both do. Like there's very devil-like qualities with this one. But I don't know, there's something more about this. There's mood swings on this side, and this one is just like very greedy. And then you've got the Three of Pentacles, which is a recipe for disaster. It's reversed. So I don't think you might have thought about it. Say if I'm like using that analogy of the company, you didn't think about it because you had your mind on healing and doing better things, but then that's what's been going on. See, look at that. Four of Swords, and then we've got Four of Pentacles. Wow. 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 Okay. So Four of Swords means that there's been a period of rest. And then you've got the Four of Pentacles here, which means, and it's reversed, so it means that there's been an unblocking. So it might have been that there may have been some burnout and you've just literally come away from it. And I think it's possibly the best thing that you've ever done. This top line is stellar. So it's just kind of saying to me that you're going to sort it out like big time. Wow, Page of Swords. You may find it difficult to communicate what it is that you really want to communicate because you've been away. You might not be able to communicate. You might be thinking that you need to be diplomatic. But then there's a thin line between being diplomatic about a situation and being avoidant. And there's a bit of avoidance here because it's like, you know, you've been dealing with your own stuff. So just maybe think about that. Okay, so we've got let's create. And we've got willpower, manifestation and manipulation, but it's reversed. So, I mean, I think you're facing something pretty... You know, and manipulation is not like, I don't think it's manipulating in a bad way. I think it's more that a situation where you thought it was going to be okay without you. And that, like, kind of like the fort was going to be held. It wasn't really. It's not really. It's almost like they can't stand up without you. They need you desperately. Final destination. Wow. I think you're going to make some like real decisions when you come back to the situation or to the situation so that you can actually just really trust what you're doing. Because with these other characters in the fray, you can't really trust it. And I think it's also the final destination for those guys. Because I don't think that you really have time for that anymore. You really have got stuff that you need to get on with. And, you know, you've been in a period where you haven't been able to make a decision about how to go forward in this situation. But now is the time where you're going to have to make a decision. You're going to have to change this. So, yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. No, I think that's it. Let's see what these two... Okay, so these two cards to basically give you some practical advice in navigating this situation. Under bright blue skies, I ask the universe to spread its energy far and wide so that all may feel the benefits of universal light. And then we've got, oh, this one came from one of the other piles. The colours of nature remind me of the vibrancy of both my inner and outer world. I think you're just very out there. Like you guys, you seem to be really kind of, you're very special. Like there's something very unique and amazing about you. And yeah, you've just had some time out and now you're getting back on your ship and you're realizing that people have been just messing around. So now you're encouraging more of the dynamism that you had, that you have into the situation again. And I think if you remember kind of like your core value, like don't placate and don't please, you know, just kind of move forward with what you need to. The end goal, that's it. Because I think that once you understand that you, or remember even, that your eyes are focused on that final destination, even though you know about the journey and you appreciate it, blah blah blah. the final destination, the eyes on the prize. You know, you've got that foresight that's kind of like gone a bit along the wayside since you've not been available and not been in a space where you're creating. Because, you know, with this kind of like top line, it seems to me that you need to create in order to gain some kind of stability, and you haven't been able to do that recently. So I think to inspire yourself, you know, really call out to the universe and ask this kind of universal light to kind of come to you in whatever way, shape, form that you do, you know, but just, you know, kind of evoke that for yourself, and then also remind yourself of the beauty of nature, because that helps you to gain more inspiration. Maybe take a walk in the woods or something like that, to clear your head or something. But in terms of your Odyssey as a total, I think you've come to a point where you know what you want. You really know what you want. You've matured into something that's really helped you to understand what you want now, and you're not going to have anything but what you want. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful place to get to, because not many people do know that. They just kind of stumble along. So, my friends, I hope you enjoyed that reading. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. But otherwise, my darlings, it's been a pleasure reading for you as always. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do comment down below in the comment section to let me know what you thought, and also your stories. I love to hear your stories. But otherwise, my darlings, you take care. Have a beautiful day, evening, night, or morning, whenever you're choosing to watch this. And remember that honesty is always key. Bye. Pile 4. I usually do 3 piles, so sorry, pile 4. Welcome to your reading. So you chose this beautiful silver jasper. It's actually called silver leaf jasper, and it's really good for grounding and allowing yourself to gain some mental clarity and protection when you really need it. So you're calling in for some grounding energy, for something to really help you to remain focused and also be aware of all of your energy centers, not so much you know, just your, you know, just the ground. It's all of them. So there's something, and it's very fortuitous as well to have a silver jasper stone. It brings you good luck. So let's see what your card will say. Wow, invitation. That looks amazing. Okay, I'll just read you what the book says, because they have these lovely little poems in here. So I'm going to have a look. And there's something that's definitely come to you. And I mean, it's interesting because we've got this kind of like, what I said was about good luck, and that kind of like rung a bell when I said it. So there's something, yeah, definitely about an opportunity that's come your way that you need to kind of pay attention to or look forward to. But then in terms of like an Odyssey, yeah, you're at this time where you're receiving this invitation. Maybe you're starting on your journey. Anyway, I'll read you the card. It says, we play hide and seek with our transformation, dreaming up change, until one day when we've had enough of our dreams, we finally accept the invitation. So a small ember within us begins to glow. The seeds of transformation have been planted. They will grow and hold you when you begin to falter. They will whisper in your ear, reminding you of the journey you've accepted. And you will keep going because there is no going back. I love that. I really love that. So in a way, it's a bit judgment. This is the call, the calling. And something very stable about it too. Like it's not just a thing that's happening. It's actually really, you know, it's like it may be some kind of new opportunity that's arisen for you to take charge with. So let's have a look at what your astrology says. Sextile. And you've got mutable, which is reversed. failure. Okay, I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. And then we've got the Queen, and it says love and prosperity, and it's reversed. So the first thing that came to me here is sometimes not getting what you want is a wonderful stroke of luck. I used to say this often in my daily reads. But yeah, it feels like there was like one door has definitely closed and then another door has opened for you. That's what it feels like. Something that you thought would give you prosperity and love actually isn't what you thought it was. And you wanted the opportunity to be flexible within a situation and you haven't been able to. It gives me the idea that you've been working, say for example, somebody's been working in a company and they've been, doing it for a while. And slowly, maybe when they entered into the job, they thought that they were going to have some kind of degree of flexibility. But actually, over time, it just eroded their confidence. And there is a little bit here of like, oh, I should have made this decision earlier, or I should have come to this realization earlier. But it isn't until you've actually received the invitation. So it may be like another job has come up, or you've decided to apply for new jobs, and then you go for this job and then you get it, or you've been given an offer, and then you're thinking, not that you could have gone back, but like also almost, God, I stuck with the other thing for so long. How could I have done that? So there's a little bit of beating oneself up about this kind of failure. But in a way, you do kind of understand that this is part of the game. This is part of it, Maybe you do have to lose a few pieces of wood off of the boat of your Odyssey in order to, win. There was a bit I read that they were passing this part of the part of the sea when they were on their way back to Ithaca, I think it was. On the very last bit, after they'd met up with Circe the last time. Circe had warned them about Odysseus and his crew about this massive whirlpool that they needed to sail a particular way to kind of make sure that they don't get sucked into the whirlpool. And inside this whirlpool was this 9-headed dragon, or a 9-headed like beast, and it managed to get about 6 of the crew. So it's kind of like that. You may have thought that, oh God, I've lost my crew, or I've lost some time, or I've lost something, and you may be kind of feeling a bit guilty about that. Kudos to you if you're not. But it's almost like you felt like you had no choice but to sacrifice them, So, wow. So we got the Hierophant reversed. Okay, is that the only card? Lovely. We've got the Ace of Wands. Then we've got the Hierophant. Okay. Then we've got the 8 of Pentacles. Hierophant reversed. 8 of Pentacles. The Ace of Cups. The Lovers reversed. 8 of Swords. Okay, so it could have been a situation where, definitely could have been like to do with work. It could have been that you really felt passionate about something, and then you realised actually the contract wasn't what you thought it was going to be, and you were kind of trapped into this contract maybe. For like say maybe about 6 months or something like that, or maybe a couple of years. And then you've worked really hard at it, but you've decided that this isn't really what you want. You want to go on for something different. It could also be that there was some kind of like thing here that really got you. That you felt was quite like that you felt was quite promising. And I think you got what you needed from it. I think you did get what you needed from it. But it just feels like it became quite inflexible. Because you've got 2 aces here. So it's almost like you really saw promise with this. And I don't know, you may have inadvertently like helped yourself in being able to get something. Like what I mean by that is that your experience within this situation has actually given rise to some incredible opportunities. And it's because you do things in a very different way and you work really hard. But it just didn't work out with this particular one, which is why you're leaving and you're going somewhere else. Yeah, you're done with it. You've actually got no emotional attachment to it. You were in a situation where you were tied up. I mean, even though the Lovers is here, I don't really see it as a love relationship. I mean, we do have the Ace of Cups. We do have some love cards, so to speak. It could also be that, a relationship happened and you decided to go with someone else. Something didn't work between you and one person. And you've been working on yourself in a way, and this person hasn't really evolved with you. So you've decided to kind of come out of the constraints of this relationship and kind of live your life. Interesting. It's very attractive. Very attractive. Inside and out. Like, it's like you've really worked hard on giving yourself a glow up. And your ethics have really kind of like caused people to really kind of take notice of you. What you're doing has made people take notice of you. And they see you as somebody who really can get the job done. Yeah, a lot of new possibilities are like opening up for you. You almost see this as like a complete fresh start. Because the environment's so different. I think also there's a sense of you not having to work not working harder, but working smarter, Okay, so it could have been a relationship that you got out of. Excuse me. Yeah, it could have been a relationship. Excuse me. So, yeah, because... or some kind of instance where somebody was not being very nice. They were being quite manipulative. I also feel like people were getting involved in your business as well. Yeah, people were getting involved. You've got a lot of people here. And I think you were stuck in this situation previously because you had thought of one particular way, which is maybe some kind of patterning. It also could be an institution in terms of like who you worked for. It could even be that this person has daddy issues, do you know what I mean? If you're in the relationship with them. I don't think it's you. The only way I can think of if this emperor is affecting you is by this. No, I don't know. No, I'm feeling like that's to do with work. But if it's in a romantic situation, I feel like there could be a possibility that if you had some kind of like parental figure that was like this emperor reversed, it's just inspired you just to be really not them, Like you can either go one of the way or the other. You can either like be like them, or you can either be nothing like them, And I think in this case, you're nothing like them. I don't know if any of you like know the actor Terry Crews. He was in I think it's called. He was in White Chicks, and it's a very famous parody that he does to that song by Vanessa, what's her name, on the piano. It's a really famous skit from White Girls. But he was talking about his father, and he's like a big, he looks like a big, well-built like man that seems quite, I wouldn't say, like, he could be seen as intimidating, but he spoke about seeing his father be physically abusive to his mum, and how he felt about that. And it spurred him to be something so different from his own father. That's what I see here. That's what I see. It's really beautiful. And it's interesting because that analogy of even like, Terry Crews could be added onto here. This could be the situation that happened, like in the respect of the Queen of Wands and the Lovers. Like, somebody who wasn't able to really take ownership. I mean, I don't know, I can't remember what his mother was like, but like his, it could be that the mother wasn't able really, not in his situation, but in this situation, a mother or a mother figure couldn't really be able to give the care that, is needed within this situation. But it could also be that in terms of the types of women or in a relationship, or the types of people that you're going for in relationships, kind of, they become as abusive as this Emperor. Because for me, the Queen of Wands reversed is a bit like the Magician reversed. Somebody who manipulates for their own gain. Let's have a look. Let's keep going. Two of Wands is the kind of disintegration of both. I think you just know when you've got to opt out. You know when you've got to like go and get out of a situation, because you are this King of Swords. And I think just people are just trying to get involved. Here you've got the Two of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, and Judgment. Look at that. It's good that Judgment came out. I said that it was the cool, wasn't it? So yeah, you're standing your ground. Part 4, challenge reversed, and the Star reversed. Wow, okay. Two things that come up here is that, your hope for... No, actually, I think that you hope that the situation will get better where you were. I think you really hope that was going to happen. It could even be that it could have been a family situation, and you're like, you wish that you could have stayed closer, connected with family, but you just can't. You just can't. The challenge is too overwhelming. Like, you just can't. And particularly for your type of personality, you can't compromise that. You can't live like that. So you're going forward and looking at something very different. Sextile, I mean, this is the thing. It can be very beneficial, or it can be quite challenging. So let's see what planets, by the way, are in this sextile. Venus. And your South Node, Venus in the South Node. Okay. So this is definitely to do with love then, in that respect. It could be. It could even be how your love life is affecting your professional life. But it could even be that, you got together with someone and they really weren't that great. Like, you found out that they had some serious issues that just kind of made you think you need to reevaluate what it is in your life that is kind of like causing you to be around these people, and now you're hightailing it out. You may have got like an offer abroad and you're like, right, that gives me an opportunity to end the relationship, and now I can just hightail it out of here. That's how I feel. Okay, we've got the Queen of Cups here. So this says to me that you actually might meet someone that really is able to understand you in a much better way than you were before. But you may not be able to communicate with her or this person as soon as you would like. Or it could be that there was a possibility of some kind of opportunity here, because you had the 2 aces upright before, but the Ace of Swords. So in terms of being able to communicate this, you're not able to. And with this 3 of Wands, it kind of gives me the feeling that, like, you know, there was some intentions that were there. And then it didn't really work out. Now this could be in the situation that you were in. So, you know, where you were. So for example, like, in the Odyssey, Odysseus, he ended up staying on the island of on Circe's island for a while. I think it was like a couple of years or something. I can't remember. And he ended up staying there with her, and she wanted to keep him there, but he couldn't stay there because he had other things to do. So essentially it wasn't a very good plan really to stay there. So that's what I kind of get from the 3 of Wands. It's like kind of castles in the air a bit. Not castles in the air, but just like plans that you've made that don't really have any kind of tangible foundation. They're kind of, you try, like, it was interesting for the time, and now, yeah, kind of failed plans in a way. So, and I think the admittance of this allows you to kind of, like, it seems like you're connecting with something that's a lot more tangible and a lot more true to what you are. So that helps you really kind of gain some perspective and be able to be more honest with yourself, and not so solitary and pretty much feeling sorry for yourself. Like you just... Did I just say that? Like, I mean that... What am I trying to say? Yeah, you're finally starting to come out the cold. I think also because, like, these things as well with your old situation, you didn't have these things. Like, you would try and maybe start up stuff or kind of do things within your last... I'm thinking of work. So for example, like some projects that you tried to put into context or you tried to make work just couldn't happen, and you weren't able to communicate those things, you know? So in order to step out of that, you realized that you needed to be really kind of genuine with your own emotions and how you connected with things in a really authentic way. And then that's actually helped you to kind of come out of the cold and not feel like you've been so ostracized. And also, I do think as well, I will say, like, it's also you not allowing yourself to feel sorry for yourself. You may have felt that way at some point, but you're like, right, okay, I can't stay here. Knight of Cups. Queen of Wands reversed again. And the 8 of Wands. That's so pretty. 8 of Wands, okay. Now that's interesting. This is a big learning situation for you about the people that you can truly trust. Because I think you might have put your faith in some people, and they're really starting to show their true colours now that you're starting to leave. And they think that you haven't... There's kind of like almost a sense of a lack of loyalty that they feel. They feel like you may have abandoned them. Oh, look at that. Queen of Cups reversed. Yeah, I think people are going to start showing their true colours once you actually make a decision about what you want. You're going to see people for what they really are. That's very interesting. Very interesting. And it's going to be people that you thought you could trust as well. Like, I mean, what I mean by that is that you start to see people's real motives, you know, with this devil here. Interesting how we've got like these two kind of like, you know. But yeah, like you're starting to learn like people's true motives and kind of like what maybe it was people that you thought were okay, that you thought that you could trust. And now you're seeing them in their true colors. I think they also destabilize you as well to some extent, you know. When in Rome, you act like it. So I think it's important because we've got the Hierophant here reversed and then we've got it upright. So that also says to me that this is an institution that you're going up against or that you're leaving, and they're seeing you, and because you're leaving and you're leaving in such a quick way, they are, you know, these people are not very happy about it. But you got to do what you got to do. Which is great. Which is great. So, in essence, you know, this could even be setting on the voyage, you know. People may not think that, you know, it's a good idea to go on the voyage. But you're going. And that's all there is to it. No, this one. Okay, wow. So you got final point. But it's reversed. So what I think about that is that it may feel like it is the final point. It may feel like it's the end game, the end result, but it's not. It's absolutely not. It's absolutely not. And then we've got this, wow, hidden fears. Well, that makes sense. Of course, you might be fearful about what's happening, about what's going on, you know. It's understandable to feel like that. But what's really interesting is that I see, oh my gosh, I see a butterfly here. So there is a real sense of transformation in terms of stepping into your own power. So you're really, you know, you're transforming into this new being in order to take these next steps on your journey. Pile 4. It's really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. And your last card to close out the reading is using lavender essence before bed means that I gain a restful sleep and recharges my mind, body and soul for the next day. So just taking care of yourself basically. And lavender is the master healer or one of the master healers. So do, you know, not only does it help with mental clarity, it also helps with relaxation. So use it. And just remember, luck is on your side, because I think you've had a real lucky escape of this. I think you've done really well to get over this, and to move, and to take the desired action to actually, you know, make a move for yourself. Take this this invitation, and yeah, I wish you all the best with it, Pile 4. So, if you like that reading, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. But otherwise, my darlings, thank you so much for allowing me to read your energy. It's been an absolute pleasure. And please do comment below if you'd like to share. I'd love to hear what you guys thought and also what your, you know, if it resonated or not. But otherwise, my darlings, you take care. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, evening, morning, whenever you're choosing to see this. And I'll speak to you soon. Take care and remember that honesty is always key. Bye.